Today I'm going to be sharing my Smart Art Box project for January. Hi, I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. This video is being sponsored by Smart Art Box. If you are unfamiliar with what the Smart Art Box is, it is a monthly subscription box where every month you get a box full of full-size art supplies. Each month is something different. One of my favorite parts about this box is that they're not just shipping you a bunch of supplies and you think, I don't know what to do with these. You get a brochure that goes over the history of whatever style you're focusing on that month. You get project pointers. It will go over a description of what supplies came in the box. And on the back, you get step-by-step instructions on how to complete your own project. I cheated. I didn't copy these instructions this time, although they're good instructions if for drawing faces. I just finished a colored pencil portrait though. I just was not in the mood to draw another. If you are interested in signing up to get your own box sent to your house each month, there is a link below in the video description along with a coupon code that will give you a discount off your subscription for life. So let's go ahead and take a look at what came in this month's box. So starting off, we have the brochure, which we have already gone over, a 3-pack of charcoal pencils, a Cretacolor Nero deep black pocket pencil set. This one is actually a pretty cool set. This was my favorite part in this box. I think I already mentioned that in this video. But it's got a lot of cool tools, and these are actually an oil-based, kind of an oil-based charcoal, so it gets very different results than what you get with the charcoal pencils. We've got a pencil holder, our blending cloth, and a pad of Canson drawing paper. This is a 90-pound paper with 60 sheets, so you can do a lot of drawings in this. Most interested in playing with these deep black pocket set sketching things because when I originally opened the box, I thought it was charcoal, and I'm like, oh, charcoal, that's not my favorite. But these are actually oil-based, and so they don't smudge and blend as like charcoal does. They were really fun for sketching. So let's go ahead and take a look at my project. I headed over to Pixabay and found a photo of a bird to sketch. So when I sketch, I just start out by drawing my general shapes, pretty much getting my proportions where I want them. So I'm not doing any teeny tiny little detail. I'm just figuring out how big or small that I want any given area. Just lightly sketching that in, that way if I have to erase anything, I'm not having to erase a ton of work or a ton of detail. I used to draw when I was much younger. I would start with the head and try to draw all of this tiny little detail, and then I'd move on to the body and realize, whoops, the head was too small for this body to fit in the size paper I have. So I definitely find it to be much better. Just get a loose sketch, a general idea of the proportions you want for your drawing. And the Smart Art Box actually came with an idea to draw where you find a portrait where the model is looking straight at the camera and you draw it half and half. It's got a really cool way to do that, which is not how my mind works. So it's much easier for me just to freehand like this when I draw. So just starting to sketch in some of the feathers. Now these pencils, I really liked them because they don't really smudge that much. You can smudge them a little bit, but not a whole lot, which for just loose sketches like this, I really enjoyed. I think these will be my go-to sketching pencils. And this pad of paper actually was a good combination with it. These two items I loved in this box. You can get areas super dark, which you'll see as I move on. I have to keep moving. My reference photo is on the laptop that you kind of see the corner of there, and the photo was not centered. So I had to keep sliding it up and down to see the head of the bird and then the tail of the bird. Drawing his face out here. See, I'm just kind of sketching light little lines, not heavy lines, because the heavy lines you're not going to be able to get rid of or blend out. That beak isn't curved quite right, so I just keep reworking that. Now, one thing I do when I draw, I don't look at something and go, okay, the beak is wrong, I'm going to erase the entire thing where I can't see any of it anymore and redraw it, because what tends to happen is you end up redrawing the beak the exact same way you did in the first place that was a mistake. Leave the mistake there, draw over it, get the sketch part that you want, and then erase the mistakes. But leave the mistakes there as you're working, because it'll make it so much easier for you not to just repeat those same lines. And I'm just doing this as a light sketch. I'm not going to try to do any teeny tiny little details, although I think that these pencils would actually work for the little details. I used the charcoal pencils, the 3-pack that came in this set, but I was having problems. They just broke time and time again, and part of it may be that my sharpeners are getting dull, so that was actually likely the main issue there. But I didn't want to deal with it, so I just stuck with these oil-based ones and really, really liked them. And this set came with some sticks too, the same type as what's in the pencil, but in stick form, so you're able to get these larger sketches with those too. So if you were shading a large area, those were really good. Just getting the hint of feathers in there. When you do sketches like this, you don't need every little feather to be exact. That's more of a finished piece of art. For this, it's just a loose sketch. So I want to get the idea of where the feathers go, but I don't need them to be perfect. Some barring on the tail there. The reason that I like these a little bit better than pencil sketching is that the color is just so dark. It's really easy to control your values. So if you're doing little thumbnails or little just kind of ideas or concept art for what will be a future bigger painting, these are nice because it's so easy to be able to judge your values, to get your darks really dark and keep your lights light. Much more so, I think, than graphite pencils. Now, they don't blend out as easily as graphite pencils. Here's that block I was talking about. So just a few strokes there and I've got the shading. And I blended this a bit with the blending cloth. It blends sort of, not a whole lot. I actually was doing some tests on other pieces of paper before I started this one. It's not the best at blending. These are not going to get you super soft, nice blended transitions. And there's a few different sizes of the blocks that I'm using right now that this kit came with. Some were really thin, and then you have these thicker ones like this. And then a few different hardness levels of pencils. So I think of all the materials that I have, if I want to do quick sketches, this is probably going to be my definite go-to. I think this just gives me the fastest results. And like I said, you can get super, super dark. But for a finished project, if I was doing something that was super realistic, probably not my favorite. I think that this medium can definitely do that, but it wouldn't be my first choice just because I like to blend things a lot softer. And these don't blend as easily as actual charcoal or graphite. But I have seen people create amazing, amazing work with this type of pencil too. So it definitely can be done. Tried to use the white charcoal pencil on top of it. Yeah, that didn't work at all. It did not show up. So I think that those charcoal pencils and then these oil-based ones, they can work together, but I would do them in separate areas, like portions of it. Let's say I added flowers to this, do the flowers just with the charcoal and maybe do highlights with this on top of it. But it seemed like those other charcoal pencils didn't really stick on top of these pencils. Just playing around with adding little details in here. And see how dark that goes? Really nice. It didn't feel like there was any point where I couldn't get more of this pencil to stick on top of the other pencil. I could push hard to get the really dark areas or keep a light hand for the light areas. And this would be the stage. If I were doing this to try to kind of figure out the layout of a painting or drawing or a future painting or drawing, this is where I would come through and really mess with my contrast and values to see what I thought would look better for the painting. And I think that would be my focus more with doing this sort of sketch, more so than trying to get all of the details figured out. Get your general shapes, figure out where your shadows, where your highlights, where your light source, all of that. That's what I would use these sketching little samples for. The funny thing is with this one, I found myself after I finished my actual project, I wanted to keep doing different sketches. I'm not one who typically sketches a lot, but these were a lot of fun. I think I'm going to leave this pad and those pencils out on my desk so that they're available easily all the time. It's a tree chicken. But I mean, just loose sketches. I went through and was just kind of playing around with how it drew out, how you could erase things. I even did a quick sketch of my shoulder chicken when I was playing with these. For a quick sketch, if you want something that you're just doing quick sketches with, I like this and this. These are my two favorite things out of this box because you can take them with you anywhere and it wasn't super messy. My hands didn't get dirty like they would with using regular charcoals. Again, if you're interested in signing up to get your own smart art box sent to you each month, I will have a link below in the video description along with that coupon code that I mentioned earlier. Have you subscribed yet? If not, there's a button you can hit right there to keep up with all 5 of my new art videos every single week. I've also got over 600 of them that you can head over and watch now. There's a button right there. Wait, no, there. I don't know what side things are on, but don't go back too far because the really old ones are a little bit embarrassing. I was apparently terrified of the camera a few years ago.